It's actually crazy how many terrible contractor yard signs there are out there. And to be honest, if you just know a few design things, it's really not that hard. Here's some simple changes that you can make so you aren't wasting money and energy on a yard sign that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so our first yard signs that we're going to look at, the first thing we're going to talk about is not even the yard sign itself, but the format of it, the stand. You can see we have 3 different versions of stands here. It may not be something you immediately think of, but let me assure you it makes a massive difference how you're displaying the sign itself. If you look up yard signs, like when I was doing research for this video, this is almost all of what you'll see. Really cheap, low quality design so you can get a ton of them. This sort of methodology makes sense for low cost services and needs-based services, so things like power washer, roofer, lawn maintenance, handyman jobs, things where people are looking like, hey, I just need somebody to get it done. It doesn't really matter who, I need to have somebody to contact. And then the next thing is going to be what's the price. So if you're a remodeler or custom home builder, what I'd recommend instead is doing a much more hefty sign like these here. Instead of having 200 of them, you probably have maybe 10 of them. Place them down at the start of a job and you pick it up as soon as you're done. My favorite one right here is this Mac Miller design build. It's nice, it's a vertical format which you don't typically see, helps it stand out a little bit. It's not taking up too much room in the homeowner's yard. And just through the design of it, you have an idea that these are not going to be kind of a chuck in a truck contractor. This is going to be somebody a lot more high end. Another option is to do this single post hanging. You can see like this builder right here did it. The only thing I would say about that is this often looks like a realtor sign. So if you do that, make uber sure with your design that you aren't getting confused with a realtor. So this is Build Right Construction Co., building with precision, delivering with integrity, phone number here. Not a bad yard sign right off the bat. There is a lot of wasted space. You can see blank space up here, blank space over here, blank space over here. And so then it causes you to kind of squish things down. And you'll see that a lot of times. Like if you take your things to a designer and you're just trying to look at something fancy, they'll throw on a bunch of stuff, and here's a few other examples of, you know, hey, this is kind of a fancy design, but oftentimes what happens is it results in being squished and a little bit awkward to look at. So what should you do instead? There's a concept called visual hierarchy, and what it means is that people, when they read things, they scan left to right, top to bottom. It looks like the shape of an F. Your goal is to get as much information across as possible, as easily as possible. You don't want people trying to decipher it. You want them to just be able to glance and immediately know what it is you do. Here's a good format to follow. Your business's icon at the top of the sign, followed by the company name, phone number, website, and if it's unclear what you do from your company name and your logo, then add a tagline on there that clears that up. Here's a fun one. Don't incorporate tools. Don't do it. Just don't do it. When you are selling the services, people are buying the product, not the process. And this is true for everything. I mean, it's true for your yard signs or even your logo. So it might be something you need to look at with your logo itself. This stuff just puts you on a much lower playing field than everybody else. You're saying that the thing I am important, the thing that gives me value is how I know how to use the tools. Whereas what the homeowner's value is what you're able to create in their home. So swap out this imagery for something that displays what the homeowners are looking for. One thing I want to note before we go any further is that this whole video is happening because Joel asked for it in the comments. Look, we're a small channel, so if there are any video topics that you want covered, let me know, and if I don't have the answer, I'll go find the answer for you. That's what this whole thing is about. So thank you, Joel, for reaching out. I hope this helps, man. Okay, our next don't. Do not ever make a bulleted list of services. Only in the rarest of cases, if you can find a way to make it fit nicely, look very intentional, and there's not too many, maybe at most 3. It's a little bit harder to read, it often results in cluttered signs, and just a less effective sign overall. If you need it to be known what services you do, 2 things I would recommend. 1, make a different yard sign for different services. If you have remodeling services and you have home build services and maybe you do some landscaping as well, make different yard signs for each one. The other option is, like I said, make sure that you have a tagline on your yard sign that gets across what you do without having to say it. Number 5, this one, don't use this font. This kind of condensed, super bold font works great for something like stump grinding. or power washing, where all you have to get across is the service name. It doesn't spread anything about the value of your business. It just puts you as, hey, I'm just shouting at you. On the flip side of that, don't use fonts that are overly ornate and hard to read. Like in these examples here, it just makes it more confusing. It can make it more cluttered and hard for people to understand. So I would go with something kind of in the middle. A serif font kind of represents more of a classical look, heritage, or long-term quality, whereas sans serif, that will be more of a modern approach if you're going for that. Don't outline the text, add drop shadows. A lot of people do this to help it stand out. Your font should be doing that as well as the colors you're picking. Now, while this may work for a handyman service, this looks like something out of the early 2000s. And if you're somebody that has modern, relevant designs, you would need to be displaying yourself like that in yard signs. Here's another don't that makes you look dated. It makes a yard sign much more tacky, much more confusing to look at. We have Lewis's Lawn Care. You don't need all of this stuff here, like the fake grass on the edges, the weird crest in the middle, and the photo in the background. Get rid of all that stuff. Simplify it down. Even better, here's an exterior house painting. And then once again, they're doing pictures of paint buckets. Like we said with the tools, this is the same thing. Don't be showing the tools, show what the end product is. And my last and most important don't is don't try and just blend in and look like everybody else. Still within this structure, there's a lot of freedom and a lot of way to find something that looks like you and what you want. And something to even think out of the box is custom shapes. These designs are made by our in-house designer, Dan. One of the things I love that Dan does here is that he's always incorporating custom shapes into his yard signs. I asked him about this and he was like, yeah, while it may be more initially up front to pay for this kind of design rather than the standard, you're gonna have to go to somebody custom to get these designs made. But it's custom work, and if that's what you're advertising that you do, there's no better way than having a custom yard sign showing that you do custom work. My personal favorite that Dan has made is this Longacre one. Not only does that sign shape tie with the logo well, I just love the way he did this logo. If you look at their previous one, it was still an L and it had the column, but he was able to both modernize it but keep it as something that feels like it has a legacy to it. It has balance. I love that sign. With your yard sign, your front yard, ideally you have that as a nice display for your business. Another thing that's going to be happening all the time if you're working out of your current home is your trucks are going to be parked there. Your truck is a much larger advertisement for your company. So if you by chance haven't already seen the video, here's 2 videos where I do the same thing but going through contractor truck wraps as well. Thank you again to Joel for recommending this topic. And if you guys need anything in the future, feel free to comment and we'll make it happen for you. See you guys.